Oh hi, I'm the Heretic. So Mr. Dapperton brought to my attention this communist cartoon made by, Do It For Me Productions. Styled to look and sound like an old-timey cartoon. I can respect that, but what makes this interesting is that in trying to explain how capitalism works and why it sucks, they explain why communism is so terrible. I actually couldn't come up with a better anti-communist cartoon if I tried. I'll link the original video in the description. Hit it! Whoa, that giant cat's eating people. Mr. Mustache here just put himself out there at risk to save his people from literally being eaten alive by that horrible cat monster. He's a freaking hero! If nothing else, this is an excellent metaphor for entrepreneurship, someone who puts their life and livelihood at risk for even the possibility of reward. I don't know about you, but eating half a yellow cake is preferable to being dead. Kinda important. Mr. Mustache is getting paid? This changes everything. With those fat stacks, you can invest in more bakeries, better ingredients, or frickin' automation. You know, capital. Did they forget he's the reason they aren't dead? That he's the one who put himself personally at risk to make a deal with a cat monster that benefited them both? You know, instead of all of them being eaten? Kinda important. I feel like I'm missing some context here. Oh, I see. Mr. Mustache formed a state. I'm not gonna say anything here. Let's just let it play. The big failing of this cartoon is that it sucks at giving an anti-capitalist message, even coming across as anti-communist at times. Seriously, as a result of the communist revolution, they get friggin' flattened by artillery bombardment, not only for their destruction to be as casually forgotten as a channel flip. Serves them right for burning their heroes at the stake like witch hunting was going out of style. Did things get worse with Mr. Mustache in charge? Of course they did. I mean, for one thing, he became a priest of statism, but at least they weren't dinner. Seriously, a little perspective wouldn't hurt. Plus, am I the only one that noticed that capitalism saved the village? Things only went wrong when Mr. Mustache used the state. Well, there was also the whole giant cat monster eating people thing, but the moral of the story is that when monsters come to eat you, don't you dare try to stop them because otherwise your society will become a fascist dictatorship. Yeah, not very convincing anti-capitalist messages here. Now, is it a bad story? No. I mean, it's well animated, a love letter to classic animation, the action is clear, and characters are differentiated well enough that you can tell who's who where it matters. Interesting how all the villagers, except for Mr. Mustache, all look the same, where the clearest, most distinct individuals are in the consumerist cat tower thing. There's a logical progression of events, and clear action and consequence. Overall, it's actually a fairly decent animation, aside from the part where the action undermines its own plot. But for the message it's trying to convey, it simply doesn't carry. If I were an 11-year-old who stumbled on this on YouTube, I'd think it a cautionary tale of revolting against power structures. As a creative lizard, it bothers me to see people's intent fail to be carried through their works, no matter how vehemently I might disagree with the message. One simple change I would make is to have the cat monster play a more active role in ruling the village. Have him personally overseeing the delivery of the yellow cakes to his shop while grabbing cakes out of babies' mouths because they belong to him. All with that insufferable smug smirk upon his face. Naturally, Mr. Mustache is his intermediary, but he should be getting screwed by this arrangement too, to properly convey the exploitative nature of business and the parasitic nature of capitalist exchange. After all, if he does not comply, they're dinner. You can show this by a quick scene of Mr. Mustache trying to stand up to the cat, only to be nearly eaten a second time for his impotence. Then the revolution starts, and they blame Mr. Mustache, but as they storm his house, he pulls out several rifles, much to their alarm. He then tosses the rifles to them, smirking. He's with the revolution. They surround the monster cat, who is currently asleep, and then tie him down, Gulliver's Travels style. He then wakes up and tries to struggle out of the roast, but to no avail. The revolution then blows his brains out in a firing squad. Success! The village is safe! The rest of the video can continue as is, as I think it works quite well. They plant bombs in the cakes, and the monster cats retaliate. More importantly, because we've established that the village is more of a direct victim of cat monster exploitation, it's tragic when they're blown to bits so ruthlessly, compared to how it is in the original cartoon, where it just comes off as karma. That would convey your anti-capitalist message much more clearly and much more effectively. You know what I haven't done yet? Refute their arguments. I don't know if I could bring myself to. I mean, it's such a bad argument against capitalism as is. Refuting is like entering a boxing match against a quadriplegic. You just don't do it. God, I should not be helping you communists, but as a creative lizard, I am compelled to give constructive criticism. If you're gonna be making mindless propaganda, at least do it right.